I accidentally had the audio off. It should be working now, though. Does it? Yep. Sounds good. Alrighty, we should be good. Jeez, my throat is like cracked or whatever. Let's get this show on the road. Weeks 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're going to get a lot of questions answered about these teams. These playoff races are very tight. Now that we're in the middle of the season, we can really start talking playoffs. There aren't many great teams in the league this year, I feel like, which really opens things up. The Bills are very clearly the best team in the AFC. Only two other teams have 2 losses. And then in the NFC, it's very similar. Dallas is the clear number 1 team. And then the only teams with 2 losses are Minnesota, the Nighthawks, and the Explorers. Can we expect these teams to keep up their pace? Teams like the Bengals, the Dreadnoughts, the Seahawks, teams that we expected to be at the top of the standings, have been really inconsistent this year. So I'm curious to see if the Bills and the Cowboys can keep this up. Both of them have some tough games today. I'm curious to see if these teams that we expected to do good are going to do better, and vice versa. Hopefully that includes the Bengals going 3-0 today. That would be pleasant. What's good, MP, SGYT, and Pokemon? Welcome on in, lads. So I believe the games that we're watching are in Week 9 and Week 12. Yes, so we're going to start with a watch game. The Steelers and the Texans. I'm actually really intrigued by this game. The Steelers are 6-2 in a very competitive AFC North, one of the few divisions where all 4 teams have a real shot. And then the Texans are, I forgot to mention them as another one of the really good teams who have started off a little bit slower. They're 4-3. Tennessee's starting to build up a little bit of a lead. And it would be very nice for us if the Steelers lose. So, go Texans. I will happily root for Sean Tucker today. Welcome in Nick, C-Mill, and Little Jaw. Alright, let's see if Siri works, if I can find my telephone. Siri, do you work?
On it.
Doesn't look like it. Alright, we're going to have to go back to the number generator.
Still working.
No, you're not, Siri. You're not working. You're lying to me. I don't like liars. Alright, it landed on 1. That's the road team, which is the Steelers. Let's get controller number 2. In case Octi talks bad about you having no volume, 28-0. Ha ha ha, that's so funny. I haven't heard that one 12 times. I'm dying over here. I'm either dying of laughter or dying inside. Or both. Probably both. 28-0 still makes me sad, and it's been like 4 months. Alright, C-Mill can decide his jerseys while we pick for the Steelers. Do we want black, white, or the other choice is the Bumblebees? I think I speak for all of us. I don't know if I'm feeling the Bumblebees. My vote's for black. Alright, the Texans want red, color rush, white. Oh, it's already white. Red. Wait, there's an extra color in there. Hold on, let me start from the beginning. Red, color rush, white, red. Oh, it's for the 2 shoes. White and red. Isn't the secondary considered red? Where are the red shoes? Huh, that's weird. L game. Bumblebees, all blacks. Bumblebees, that's 2 for black, 2 for Bumblebee. Does anybody else have a vote? If it's a tie, then, that's a good question. If it's a tie, then we're not going to make our eyes bleed out and pick the rational one. How about that? Going once, going twice? Sold to black. And with that, we can now enter the second half of our season. We are into week number 9. We're going to get through 4 more weeks today. We're going to get a lot of questions answered. And that includes if the Steelers can keep things going at 6-2, tied for the second best record in the AFC. And to see if the Texans can actually win this division for once. The Texans, believe it or not, have not won the division since season 1. The trade deadline would be before next stream, yes. Which I don't know when that's going to be yet, but everyone's going to have to get their trades in before next stream. Because, well, that's when the deadline is. We do get the playoff picture, you're right, because we will enter week 13. That's a good catch. So at the end, we'll be able to look at where the playoff bracket officially stands. As the Texans will start off with the ball, we'll take a look at Lamar Jackson, Sean Tucker, and the fellas. Jordan Stout, welcome to Buffalo. Steelers legend, Jordan Stout. That kind of has a ring to it. All right, here's drive number 1 for the Houston Texans. We've seen them and watched once this year. They lost to the Cowboys. We have not seen the Steelers yet. As Michael Mayer, recently acquired, starts off with 14. Up the middle. There's a nice throw by Lamar. Which receiver is 13? Is that Ben Mixon? No, that's Lawler. Zach Lawler makes the play. There's Lawler again. Lamar's already 3 for 3. Not a bad start. He's looking Lawler's way early, coming off a great rookie year. He's been arguably even better this year. Well worth that top 5 pick. Wheel runs remember when I drafted Stout in OFL 22 before the Ravens. Wheel runs remember when he started at quarterback. Did he win a game at QB or is that somebody else? Oh, here's a big play. Kittle with nobody in front of him takes it for a house call. And the Houston Texans start off quick. 4 plays, 4 completions, finished off by a George Kittle touchdown. He lost. Yeah, that was Matariza who won this year. Okay, that's right. The Wi-Fi in this room stinks. Trace McSorley threw for 5 touchdowns and beat Mahomes last year. Good old Trace McSorley. Throw it on a dime. All right, let's see the Steelers. Their offensive line is not good at all. Hayden Callaway gets sacked a lot, and it's impressive that Callaway's had the season that he's been able to because he's still been really good. If you take a look at the numbers, the guy has been producing 19 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions, but his offensive line is a train wreck, and guess what? The Steelers get to meet Rashawn Gary, Quinnen Williams, Equiz Geronimo, the other dude, Matthias Zerberg. I know there's someone I'm forgetting. Deron Payne is still here, isn't he? Yeah, they have Deron Payne as well. So, that's a lot of guys going after the quarterback. Against a not-so-good front unit. There's a nice first down. Both teams looking to the air early and often. Have I seen Kansas State's new quarterback that looks like you? Are you talking about Will Howard? Because he played not too far away from where I lived. I don't know if there's somebody else you're referring to, but Will Howard grew up not that far away from me. I don't know why he picked Kansas State of all places, because wasn't he like a pretty good recruit too? What makes him think Kansas State halfway across the country? Alex Johnson. Let's ask our friend Google. Let's take a look at this gentleman. I mean, I don't really see it. Yeah, I don't think that guy looks like me. He has cool hair, but I don't think that looks too much like me. As the Steelers get stopped, we share a name and we share cool hair. He's smaller than... No way he's smaller than me, and he's a Power 5 QB. Hold on. There's no shot. Okay, his name isn't Alex Johnson, unfortunately. It's Avery Johnson, and he's, according to their website, 6'2", 188. He's definitely not smaller than me. Maybe, I guess he's probably skinnier than me, because he's got like 4 or 5 inches on me, and I'm not that much lighter than him. Yeah, he definitely looks skinny in that picture, but I guess that's part of being 6'2". Slower? I would like to think he's slower than me. What do I think about the Denver Broncos? I think they suck. Avery Johnson, Alex Johnson, same thing. What if somebody called me Avery? That'd be weird. I'm not an Avery. No. Lamar floats it up, and it does have enough carry. That's Sean Tucker. Good catch. Houston's been dominant so far. The Steelers do not look very impressive. Are they 6-2 frauds? Are they sim merchants? I would like to think so, because that would benefit us in the division. The Steelers are the team that I'm scared of winning this division. I don't fully trust the Ravens. And the Steamers, I feel like, are kind of weird because their defense has relied a lot on turnovers, and that's not really a good indicator of long-term success. But their offense has also turned the ball over a lot on the flip side. And now that they have Cocky Butt Cannon, the turnovers are probably going to go down. So I have no clue what to expect with the Steamers. Romer is in the hizzy. Welcome on in, Romer. At least Sean Tucker is good in the game. Don't be mean to our glorious king. Cocky Butt Cannon. Yes, that is his name. You heard me correctly. Here's Sean Tucker again. Well, I thought Sean Tucker was hurt for a second. I got scared. Osiris Torrance getting hurt is not a significantly better alternative, I guess, for the Texans, but it's not our king. Sean Tucker is cooking in real life, don't sleep. If he had rushing lanes, he'd average 100 a game. As he's in for the touchdown, just like that, he had a wide open rushing lane and he takes it the distance. Although I don't blame the Buccaneers for not wanting to play him last week because, well, it's kind of hard to look good against our run defense, but still. On the flip side, maybe if he did play, they'd score more than 6 points. We drafted Yaya over Achan. I'm pissed. Isn't Yaya Diaby like 24 years old, too? And Achan's 21. Jason Light Disaster Class, however you say his name. So Sean Tucker is pleased to put the Texans up 14-0. And now the Steelers have to respond. He's getting outplayed by Rachaad White. That's an exceptionally low bar. That's fair. That is an awfully low bar. At least in comparison to every other starting running back in the league. But he's still our glorious king. Jimmy Garoppolo is out this week. I, for one, cannot wait for the Tyson Bagent, Aiden O'Connell battle. We will be watching that over the Lions and Ravens. Unless they start Brian Hoyer. That'd be kind of lame. We want the rookies. Do I do any sports betting? No, but I follow it closely because I think like understanding betting lines and whatnot is really useful, but I myself don't bet because Vegas is trying to take your money, and I like my money. Although I understand why people do it. It does seem fun. I don't think he's averaged 1 yard per game. He's averaged at least one. He's regularly gotten a few touches a game, at least early on. Here, why don't we ask ESPN? Oh, God. Well, he's averaging 1 yard a game. He's actually averaging almost 5. Jeez, that yards per carry, though. Ugh. We're not going to talk about that. Nope, not going to talk about it. All right, here's the Texans. Drive number 3. It's less than. It is definitely less than 2. Take money. I won $90 last. Well, good work. But generally, Vegas is trying to take my money. Yards per carry doesn't count. It's not the yards per carry that matters. It's the friends along the way that we met. 3rd and 3. Ooh, he goes short. They're not going to get it. Good tackle by 29. Who's 29? Is that DeMar? I know they have DeMar Hamlin on this team. Dog in you is the only stat that matters, and Sean Tucker does in fact have that dog in him. Would you like to join my religion? Yes. Yes, I would. I could win another 180 tonight. Well, if you win 270, that's pretty impressive, but generally, Vegas is going to be getting more money than they give away. But good work. What do I think about Michigan? Congrats on winning the easiest games ever. They have not played anybody yet. I looked at their schedule this week. They've like blown everybody out by 30. They've literally played nobody. Which, I mean, good for you for winning your games, I guess, by a lot. But Jesus Christ, that schedule is a disaster. That's one of the good things about all the realignment is that the Big Ten is going to have so many more good teams. So you have a team like Michigan who isn't going to have their first 8 games be cupcakes. Michigan is getting investigated, and they'll still win by 40. They could have me coaching, and they would win by at least 35 against Michigan State. For sign stealing. Huh. Does Jim Harbaugh think he's the Astros? Did A.J. Hinch drive up to Ann Arbor to teach him his secrets? Octi for Michigan head coach. Who says no? Probably everybody on that team who eventually would transfer, because I know they all really like Jim Harbaugh, because Jim Harbaugh is pretty good at his job. I see that it's not looking great for the Steelers. Not at all. They are getting clapped. They've got some good weapons here. Drake London, Travis Kelce, of course, Kelvin Pickney, the running back. Brandon Fatt over 3.5 hits allowed. His hits allowed number is 3.5. I mean, unless you're getting like a lucrative bet that gets you less money, that seems like a steal. Jeez. Simcast at 3 scores in the second half. So if the Texans get a pick 6 here, for example, we wouldn't necessarily simcast right away. Now, if it's like 28-0 or 35-0 in the first half, we will sim. But for 3 scores, we usually wait until the second half. If someone can see your signs without doing anything crazy, it's fine. I don't really disagree with that. Like, I get punishing the Astros because they used devices and cameras and stuff, but like, if you're not doing anything illegal, if the other team's not doing a good job of hiding it, then like, yeah. Although clearly if Michigan's being investigated, I can't imagine it's that simple, but in a vacuum I do agree. Octi for Bishop Sycamore head coach. That sounds great, minus the fact that I'm going to be laughed at forever after we lose by 100, and I might get arrested. I don't know. I don't know if that's legal. What Roy Johnson did was definitely not legal. They are factoring him giving up bombs. I mean, I guess the Phillies against the starter last night or 2 nights ago or whenever it was with Merrill Kelly, he only allowed a few hits and they were all dingers. But even though the Phillies live and die by the long ball, and it works, 3.5 seems low still. Hayden Callaway is sacked. Ronald Darby brings him down. I think Zerberg was there as well. I didn't see until the end of the play. I just saw a white dude there, so I'm just going to assume it was Zerberg. Long kick from 52. That looks good. And it is. The Steelers are on the board. Wow, look at road teams making their kicks. Why can't we do that? Congrats on getting hired as the head coach of Bishop Sycamore. Go team. What even is their mascot? They should call themselves the 20s because their players are in their 20s. I'm the savior of Bishop Sycamore. I will turn this program around into greatness. IMG, modern day, we're coming. Here's a nice little play by Christian Watson. Lamar continuing to have a great first half. The birth certificates. There we go. And then the logo is like a piece of paper with an X on it. I could play for Bishop Sycamore. That's true. They don't care that I wouldn't have any high school eligibility left. Even though I've never played a snap of high school football in my life. I guess I technically would not have eligibility, except for that program. Here's Sean Tucker, up the middle. Look at him go. So pleasing. Why does that sound weird out of context? Texans with plenty of time at the 32 with all 3 timeouts. Time not an issue for them. The whole OFL plays at Bishop and we turn the school into greatness. We combine all of our powers into one and we build up a high school powerhouse. One minute left to go. Houston now at the 25 with 2 timeouts still. As long as they don't turn the ball over, they'll definitely be sitting very pretty going into the second half. I would not mind a run here on 3rd and 1. You have 2 timeouts. Time's not an issue. Give it to Sean. They give it to Sean anyway on the screen. He's got blocks. A screen actually worked. I get he only gained 4, but I mean they only needed 1. So that'll do the job. Commentator curse incoming. Right when I said the Texans just don't turn it over, I had a feeling like, watch them turn it over now. I shouldn't be cursing the Texans because I need them to win. 2nd and 7. Short throw for Lawler. He gets it to the 7. I would use the timeout and go for the end zone a couple times. Don't be afraid. I feel like they're going to kick soon. Maybe not this play, but soon. I feel like they shouldn't. You have 3 chances. Just make sure the ball is not in the field of play. I wonder what the odds are of me making the playoffs. I can't imagine it's high, but at least you're in the AFC West. And there's your touchdown. Lamar nearly got sacked, too. That play could have been catastrophic because I don't think the Texans would have been able to get back in time. With 11 seconds, maybe? But, yeah, 34 was right there. But it doesn't matter because George Kittle, double covered, makes a great grab. His 2nd touchdown of the first half. What a dominant showing from the Houston Texans. Showing that they still are at the top of the AFC and maybe not the Steelers, contrary to what the standings say. There's a good shot the Steelers will still be in first place after this week, but they've got to feel a little concerned. Their first watch game of the year, they don't look too hot. I assume they're just going to take a shot up deep when you're down by 18. why the hell not? Why are they running the ball? You're down by 18. It's actually a pretty good run, though, for Kelvin Pinckney. Hayden Callaway's got an arm, so I'm just saying, who knows? Callaway's going to let it rip. Definitely does not have enough arm on it, and it's incomplete. Alrighty. Quite the first half. It has not gotten off to a very close start. Put it that way. The Texans lead 21-3. Houston looks dominant on both sides of the ball. Lamar Jackson's been impressive. Sean Tucker's been great as a receiving back today. And the Steelers' offense just isn't doing much of anything. So, since it's a 3-score game, we'll start by simcasting. C-Mill's favorite thing. Hold on, it looks weird without the lines on the bottom. Oh, are they just... Oh, there they are. Okay, now we're good. Houston scores. It's 28-3. Surely this will end well for the Texans. Okay, we can move faster. This game is over. Over. The simcast ends up being much of the same as the Texans dominate. They win it 38-3. Wow. So the Texans dominated during the watched portion and during the simcast portion. A huge win for Houston, who had to get back on the win column, and they do it in dominant fashion. And there was really never a doubt. The Texans got out the gates storming, and they didn't look back. The Steelers really just were not impressive today on either side of the ball. Not pretty. Lamar Jackson with a Player of the Week-esque performance, whereas Hayden Callaway was just very blah. He didn't turn the ball over, but he just wasn't very good. Sean Tucker was solid. Dominique Cummings even scored a touchdown. George Kittle with 3 scores. He looks like he had another one in the simcast. Didn't use the PS2 picks very well. You're welcome for those picks, by the way. Matthias Zerberg, 2.5 sacks. He was the guy who ended up having a big day. Quinn Williams also had 2. No Rashawn Gary, though. Where is Rashawn Gary? 0 tackles. Well, they kept him in check, and it didn't matter. So with that, it's sim time. Dear EA, if we lose, we're going to have problems. We're going to have big problems if we lose to Portland. Oh, God. At least since we're on the Steelers, we're going to be one of the first teams that we click on. Texans obviously won. Titans bye week. Vikings beat the Orbits 36-22. Minnesota continue, or that says 38. Reading's hard. Minnesota continues their strong season. CJ Stroud continuing to play really well, whereas Drake May, not so much. He throws 3 picks. All right, show me a W, please. Good. 42-25. 3-score win. Love to see it. Daniel Godley with 5 touchdowns. 80% completion percentage. I get it's the Snowhawks who are not very good, but this is what we've been waiting for. Is this the start of Daniel Godley playing well? Because if he does, we can beat anyone. Devontae Adams with 3 touchdowns, and I think it's likely that Isaiah Likely, Dragon Legend, will get the other 2. Only took Bro the Snowhawks to show his potential. I get it's Portland. How many wins do they have? Not many. 1 against the Jets. But I'll take it. The Bills still undefeated. They dominate Detroit. Isaiah Thomas played very well. Caleb Williams was fine. I mean, there's not really much you can do when you're playing the Bills, who are 8-0. Jalen Carter with 2 sacks. Godley going to throw 8 picks next week. Who do we play next week? I feel like our schedule's pretty easy today. Steamers, that's a game we should win, but certainly not a gimme. And then the Geagles, I would say, is in the same boat. So, I can understand if we split these 2. Ideally, we don't. We shouldn't, because on paper, we're a great team, but we have not shown the ability to, do that until this game. The Ravens beat the Broncos. That's not ideal. Albeit it's kind of hard not to beat Denver. They're not very good. Chargers. Bye week. Colts lose to the Cougars. Keeping it close at least. The Colts are still winless with... which Weston is the quarterback? I think Connor Weston's the QB. Yes, Connor Weston Jr., who played pretty well today. Not his fault they lost. Joe Mixon played very well, so did Mike Williams and Zay Jones. All hail the Commies. They had a bye week. Cougars win. Cowboys beat the Rams. They are 9-0 and will officially finish the season with a record of over 500. Joe Burrow played very well. Shout out Armani Goodwin. Nick Chubb should be back pretty soon. I don't remember exactly when, but I know it's soon. The Desperados win! Oh! How about that? The Desperados win their first game of the year under head coach Colin Mentor as they beat the Steamers by 3. The cocky butt cannon debut does not go to plan. Although, to be fair, Tua probably would have played worse. So, you got that, I guess. And now I think we only have one winless team, being Indianapolis. The Dreads beat Carolina. The Dreadnoughts are starting to pick things up again. I believe they are 6-3 now. Still, certainly a front-runner in the South. Jalen Hurts with a Player of the Week-esque performance. The Eagles take care of business against the Oilers before their bye week. Is there a way to change my offense? Well, the trade market still exists. Schemes exist, although you can't technically do that until the stream's over. So, yeah, there's multiple ways. The Explorers, why do they keep winning? Man, this pick is not going to end up well, is it? They beat New England by 17. They're now 6-2. I kind of thought last year the Explorers were a little bit fluky. That's clearly not the case. Travis Flight is officially one of the 5 or 6 best quarterbacks in the league at this point. What a turnaround he's had. The 49ers. Ooh, they beat Seattle. Hello. Wow, okay. I changed your scheme to a 4-3. Yes, your scheme is accurate. Patrick Mahomes played out of his mind, and they still lost. What's going on in Seattle? And unfortunately for them, the Niners are like legitimately good. The Nighthawks are 6-2. I still think Seattle is the front runner to win that division just because it's close and they're the best team there. But, what is going on? San Francisco has lost once since week 3. And this game might actually be kind of good. The Geagles beat the Monarchs. They are undefeated since their bye week. Home in time for the Simcast. Oh, man, Nick, you missed your team losing by 27 against the Rams. Brian Neal had 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. Jets, Jets had a bye week. Wow, they play the Colts next week. If they lose, ugh. Detroit lost. The Monarchs lost. The Nighthawks have won a lot in a row. 5 in a row to be exact. Now, things don't get easier for them. They've got the Cowboys and the Niners coming up. After the bye week, it still is pretty hard. The Rams are not a gimme. The Eagles are pretty good. The Eagles are pretty good. Commies is a tough game. Niners is a tough game. And then Portland, they should win. But nonetheless, they're 7-2. And in first place of the West. And if they beat Dallas this week, that completely opens the door for the number 1 seed. Y'all chose the Steelers-Texans over our game. Yes. On paper, that was an intriguing game. We haven't watched the Steelers yet. Houston's always fun. Luka is easily my least favorite server member. Well, if there was somebody who would be getting replaced soon, I will say he would probably be at the front of the line. The Oilers lost. They've lost a lot. Geez, they haven't won since week 1. And the Bills had their pick. Oh, God. The Orbits lost, the Panthers lost, the Pats lost, the Raiders lost, the Rams lost, the Ravens won, Seattle lost, Portland lost, Houday, Steamers lost, and that'll bring us back to the Steelers. All right, time for your players of the week. If Daniel Godley is not here, we riot. Good. Daniel Godley, Patrick Mahomes, Jair Alexander, and Tremaine Edmonds. So before we go off here, I have a screenshot to take. I'm going to need to hold on to this one. Need to frame it. All right, there we go. As for your standings update, the Ravens and Steelers are tied for first. Bengals a game back. Houday. The Texans move up a little bit. Titans had a bye week, so they're still ahead. Bills still comfortably lead the East because, well, they're the best team here. The Raiders lead the West at 4-4 because everybody else sucks. Minnesota and the Explorers are in a very tight race in the North. Dreadnoughts are only a half a game ahead of the Eagles in the South. The Eagles are playing pretty well. Dallas leads the East. Everybody here is over 500, though. The other three teams are within half a game of each other. And then the Nighthawks lead what is a very interesting NFC West. All right, so for Week 10, our Simcast game will be the Cowboys and the Nighthawks. Dallas is 9-0. They have the best record in the league, while the Nighthawks have won 5 in a row. They're 7-2 and are currently tied for the second seed in the NFC. And they have the probably second longest win streak in the NFC. Yes, they do. And they have the longest win streak of all non-undefeated teams. All right, Siri has landed on 1. Or not Siri, the number generator. So that'll bring us to the Nighthawks. Frank needs to be humbled. On one hand, like, it would be cool to see Frank's team get put down a notch. On the other hand, him beating Nick would objectively be hilarious. So I feel like both of these teams losing would be pretty funny. If he's still like this after last season, there's no humbling Frank. That's a fair point, but at least he has a reason to be excited this year. If he wins, we will not hear the end of it, and honestly, I would not blame him. Oh boy. Oh boy! Alright, Dallas responds. The Nighthawks are up by 2 scores going into the second half. Okay, we're going to go slower. This actually looks like kind of an interesting game because the Nighthawks are actually winning. Oh, they turned it over! Oh my goodness, it's going to happen. They turned it over again! The Oklahoma City Nighthawks just won by 3 scores on the road in Dallas. Whoa! How about that? And the Dallas Cowboys are no longer undefeated. Well-known... Oh my lord, 4 picks. Yikes. Jacoby Brissett played really well, while Joe Burrow kept throwing it to the other team. Nick Chubb was back. He was kind of quiet. Who had all the interceptions? That's what I want to know. Dallas Flowers. Okay. Jamie Robinson, Sean Murphy-Bunting, and Miles Jack. Let's simcast this game. Yes, because if it was watched, you guys would probably win by a lot. Takes off Joe Burrow mask to reveal it was Dak the whole time. So that means if the Bills win, then they will be the only team that's undefeated. Oilers lose to the Chargers. Kevin Shasha with 4 touchdowns, while the Oilers, they're in tank mode. The problem is they don't even have their pick. They really traded for a downgraded quarterback and gave up their first-round pick to do so. That's crazy. Orbits beat the Rams by 2. They're 3-1 since the bye week with a game-winning safety in the third quarter. Caleb Sampson played pretty well, though, all things considered. Brian Neal doing Brian Neal things. Quentin Johnston played well, too. 2.5 sacks for the former number 1 pick, Brandon Fitzgerald. Carolina beats the Eagles, so Mexico City's win streak is snapped. The Dreadnoughts will hold on to first place in the South no matter what happens. Who is Daniel Williams? Rookie out of Minnesota. He's a Gopher, and he ran for a $101. New England, bye week. The Raiders lose to the Bills. Buffalo 9-0. The only undefeated team left. Now that Dallas has lost. Jonathan Taylor played well. Marvin Harrison Jr. plays well. Nothing is worse than being at the end of the alphabet and having all this anxiety. At least you guys get to go before us. Is Chamberlain hurt? Yes, Chamberlain is injured. I don't remember exactly what his injury is, but when I was fixing your depth chart, I noticed that he was hurt. Oh my, well that's quite the response by the Steelers. After losing 38-3, what do they do next week? They win 41-7 against the Ravens. And remember, both of these teams at 6-3 were tied for first place in the division. Hayden Callaway didn't even throw a touchdown. So I guess they got them all on the ground. Yeah, 2 for Kelvin Pickney, 1 for Rafael Meadows, 1 for Kabara Wheaton, and 1 for Hayden Callaway. 5 rushing touchdowns by 4 different people. Is it Bobby Law or Lucas? I don't remember. I guess it would be whoever you said it as. Seattle, they need to win after losing to San Fran, and they do against a good Explorers team. Big rebound for the Seattle Seahawks. They needed that one bad. We'll be simcasting 2 games this week, one of which is Seattle. They're playing against the Commies, which is another tough game. Snowhawks lose to the Dreads. Why is this game on Sunday Night Football? It looked like the last game was on at night as well. Yeah, 3 straight Sunday Night Football games against the Titans, Bengals, and Dreadnoughts. Why? At least the national audience got to see Daniel Godley throw for 5 touchdowns, though. I'll take it. But Jalen Hurts played well, and Zach Wilson did not. Zach Wilson actually played horribly. Looks like there was a lot of sacks. 2.5 for Danielle Hunter, 2 for Jonathan Grenard. And Dragon Legend Rocky Sin with a pick. The Steamers. Oh, the Steamers play us. Oh, boy. Ooh, 16-7. All right, so the Bengals are figuring some things out. We're 2-0 today. Last week was about the offense. This week was about the defense. 18 rushing yards. Daniel Godley didn't even play well. He was outplayed very slightly by Cocky Butt Cannon. The problem, as you'll see here with Bijan Robinson, 12 carries for 17 yards. Not good. So we didn't even need Daniel Godley to play well, and we still won by multiple possessions. The pass rush didn't even do anything. We had 2 sacks. Josh Allen, Chase Young, and Myles Garrett had 0. Bijan is, in fact, no Sean Tucker. Okay, so at least we win 2 games today. I'm satisfied. Hopefully we can beat the Eagles, but at least we don't go under 500. Houston beats the Titans. That is significant. I believe they're tied. Titans won earlier, didn't they? Yes. So both teams are tied, and they each have split the season series, both winning on the road. Lamar Jackson with another phenomenal game, putting himself back into the MVP conversation, while Justin Herbert, he threw 3 touchdowns, but overall was pretty unspectacular. Sean Tucker doing Sean Tucker things. So it seems like a lot of the good teams, like the Texans, the Bengals, the Dreadnoughts, they're picking things up as expected. Seattle, kind of. I mean, Seattle's a tough schedule today, so you can't entirely fault them. Minnesota beats the Desperados, so Austin's win streak ends up being a whole 1 game. It was 33-0 after 3 quarters. Nick, check DM. Why are you selling to Nick? of all people. I guess that's better than one of the AFC teams, but still. Please don't. He's already won once. He doesn't need another. Buffalo. 9-0. They beat the Raiders. He's not selling to me. Good. Let's keep it that way. Broncos country. Let's ride. They lose to the Niners 38-34. San Francisco keeps winning. They're now 6-3. Did I already look at which game? Oh, I already looked at your game. Oh, silly me. I didn't look at this game, though. Bobby Moss Jones, 7 for 178 and a tutty. The 7-footer. Chargers won. Colts lose to the Jets. Kind of close, but the Jets survive. Desmond Ridder, perfect passer rating. 89% completion percentage. He only threw 2 incompletions. Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall were both very good. Cooper Kupp, 3 touchdowns on 5 catches. Who had 4 TFLs? Gervin Dexter. The Commies lose to the Cougars. Ooh. The Cougars are like 6-4. Oh, God. Mac Jones and Joe Burrow are having a mid-off to see who the best quarterback in the NFC East is, and right now Steven Universe wants to think it's him. Ouch. Not pretty. When you're in a throwing the ball to the other team competition and your opponents are Joe Burrow and Mac Jones, all right, that's everyone. Week 10 in the books. If your team isn't 2-0 today, then you're a loser. Players of the week. Jalen Hurts, did Jalen Hurts win it last week? No, he was really good last week. Jalen Hurts, Kevin Shasha, Leighton Vander Esch, and Logan Wilson. I'll give you Lamar if you give me all your draft picks in OFL and FGFL 24. Big brain. All right, here's your standings update for Week 10. Only one undefeated team is left, that being the Buffalo Bills. AFC North, 3 teams within 1 game. The Bengals are starting to play better. The Steelers still at the edge after their big win over the Ravens. Houston and the Titans tied in the South. I should specify the Texans, not the Houston Oilers. They might have the worst point differential in the league. Oh dear, they're going to continue to fall. This team stinks. The Bills comfortably lead the East. I don't see anybody else winning this division, although we could have a couple wildcard teams. The Raiders still lead the West. The Chargers are only a game back. And the Broncos are only a game and a half back. Minnesota extends their lead in the North with a win and an Explorers loss. The Dreadnoughts extend their lead in the South with a win and a Geagles loss. Dallas still comfortably leads a very competitive NFC East. And the Nighthawks still lead the West with the 3 main teams all winning. Is Zerberg Defensive Player of the Year? That's a good question. Let's take a look. Who's the MVP favorite? Jalen Hurts. That makes sense. Zerberg is 9th. Who is first? Micah Parsons? Who's Defensive Player of the Year for the NFC? Dre Greenlaw. Interesting. Okay. So that'll bring us into Week 11. We had a tie for Week 11, so I put both games on the poll, so we're simcasting 2. Neither of these games are being watched, though. We've got the Seahawks and the Commies, and the Bengals and the Geagles. The Seahawks and Commies is listed first, so we'll start with that, and it lands on 2. Who's 2? The Commies are 2. The Seahawks and Commies have both had interesting seasons. I feel like we need to put the Commies now in the tier of teams who have kind of disappointed because they're only 5-4. If Seattle at 5-4 is disappointing, then the Commies at 5-4 is disappointing too. Mac Jones throwing 4 interceptions last week certainly does not help. Both of these teams really need to win. And they're both in super competitive divisions. The Commies are tied for third, and the Niners are alone in third. It's nice being a mid-team in the AFC because the NFC is so much better. What record is your team? You guys, I believe, are 8-3. That wouldn't make sense. We're in week 11. Are they 8-2? They might be 8-2. X Factor Ayuk is so sexy. I completely agree. Oh boy, the Commies are looking good so far. Seattle gets back. The Commies respond, although they miss a kick. And then they make a kick. Oh my, this isn't even close. The Commanders are handling business. Oh dear Lord. Seattle gets some points late. I think the score of this game was not as close as the actual score suggests. The Commies dominated for 3.5 quarters. Good win. Seattle falls to 5-5. How many losses did Seattle have last year? 2, 3? Not a lot. Put it that way. Mac Jones, after playing the worst game of his career last week, might have had the best today. He threw 4 touchdowns last week. This week he throws 5 touchdowns. While Mahomes was fine. Name the 4 teams playing in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. Hold on. I wrote this down because we predicted this in the podcast. Let me find the picture. Because I have most of the graphics done. Oh, I only wrote down who I had in the finals. I had the Celtics over the Nuggets in 6. As for the conference finals, I feel like I have to pick Milwaukee. And then in the West, honestly, give me the Lakers. I don't feel good about it because LeBron is going to be 39. But if he stays healthy, if Anthony Davis stays healthy, and if LeBron doesn't really get much worse, then I think they're the second best team in the Western Conference. So it's more so if LeBron can stay energized in May after a long year, which I don't know if he can, but if he does, I think they're the second best team. Siri lands on 2 again. The home team for our game is the Eagles. So this is the last Bengal game today because we have a bye week in week 12. So if we win, we'll be 3-0 for the day. Cavs Celtics, bite me. I had J.B. Bickerstaff winning the Coach of the Year. I'm in on the Cavs. I don't mind that pick. And then Warriors and Nuggets. Cavs are going to be good. I think they're going to take another step. All right, Bengals, let's get one more win. 3-0 for the day sounds pretty good. That's not a good start. All right, quick response by the offense. Okay, it looks like we're moving the ball. And right as I say that, we're stopping. Oh, big play. All right, we tie it. The offense, I want to go slower. Why do I want to go slower? Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Never mind. The defense allowed 6 points last week, and today they're struggling. Okay, now we can go slower. This is a ball game. Couple of big sacks. Josh Allen, 3rd and 24, incomplete. And they got it on 4th and 24. My God. And we stopped him on the goal line. And they get a 15-yard penalty on Hassan Reddick. If they get the ball back, we'll hop in. But they're not going to get the ball back. Whoa, that was a little bit close for comfort. But the Cincinnati Bengals survive. 29-24 over the Eagles. The Bengals go 3-0 for the day. We're 7-4. It seems like Cincinnati's back. I don't know if we're back in Buffalo land, but we're back in Tier 2 with everybody else not named Buffalo. You should have watched this game. This game didn't get enough votes. Which, to be honest, I didn't really want to watch this again. I mean, for one thing, we're 0-2 and watched. We're sim merchants this year, but we've already watched this twice. Ooh, look at Godley. Have yourself a day. 22 for 26. He had probably his 2 best games today. So that's nice. Dak Prescott played well too. Orlando Magic skip the play and make the 6th seed. Phillies the 7th seed. That's my hot take in general. No bias there. I actually do really like the Magic though. I think I had them, I want to say, in the top 8. I definitely think they're a playing team. I think this is the year that they take a big leap. Franz Wagner in year 3, I could see him playing at a fringe all-star level. Paulo Banchero in year 2. They've got plenty of other good young players. I don't know about top 6, but I think the Magic are going to be real good this year. I don't think they're going to be better than Philly, though. I feel like people are kind of underrating the Sixers a little bit. I think the Sixers are still going to be a pretty good regular season team that at the bare minimum finishes in the top 5. Wanted to jump in when it was close in the red zone. In hindsight, I probably should have, but we won, so I'm not going to complain. But I probably should have did that. I probably should have hopped in earlier on that Geekle drive. I don't think it's unreasonable to say the 76ers window is closed. I also think that they're still good. I don't know if they can win a title, though. What about my prediction? I didn't see it. Where is it? Am I blind? Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, I see it. Bucks beat Celtics in 7 to face the Nuggets. Beat the Kings in 5. Dame, Dubs, Jokic, and so the Bucks beat the Nuggets in 6. The Kings making the conference finals is interesting. I don't know what to think about the Kings this year. I like their core. Obviously, they were great last year. Another year together. I could see it. Greatness has arrived. Yeah, I won't really argue against that. You beat Dallas. All right, let's take a look at our Week 11 results. The Jets beat the Ravens. I'm kind of happy that the Jets and the Niners are playing well because that means this Week 12 game is going to be really important. I was a little worried that both teams maybe would struggle, but the Niners so far are 2-0 today. The Jets are 2-0 today. So this is actually going to be like an important game. You are not ready for year 2 Paolo with some spacing. I mean, the more shooters on that team, the more room for Paolo to do his stuff. His efficiency certainly should go up. Lions keep it close with the Dreads, who win in overtime. Jalen Hurts with 4 more touchdowns, although he also had 2 interceptions and got sacked 6 times. So the Lions defense did all they could. I see 3.5 there. Big Jeffrey Simmons. The Monarchs get handled by the Cowboys, who get back on the win column. Joe Burrow, 4 touchdowns after 4 picks last week. Phil Chippendale, not so good. Nick Chubb, back to Nick Chubb type stuff. Marshawn Lattimore, 2 interceptions. Do the Nighthawks win after beating Dallas? They do over San Francisco. The Nighthawks are 9-2. Going into their bye week, having won 7 in a row. And the Niners, as we know, are good. Justin Pope today was real good. So the Nighthawks are in very clear control in their division. Even with the Niners and the Seahawks, I think, both having 6 wins. And they're both playing like playoff teams. But the Nighthawks are multiple games ahead of both of them. They're in a really good spot. I still don't trust this team yet because we haven't watched them. But they're in a good spot to win their division. 3 pretty tough games today, and they won all of them. The Oilers get smacked. The Oilers might be the worst team in the league. Even worse than the Colts. Even worse than the Desperados. Even worse than the Snowhawks. This team is awful. They are not good. And don't forget, they don't have their draft pick. Why are we trading draft picks to really good teams? Yeah, their one win is against the Colts by 3. When do they play the Colts again? Oh, this week on Monday Night Football, a primetime tank bowl. The Steelers beat the Orbits beat the Steelers. Good. So this means the Bengals are tied for first in the AFC North, folks. And we split the Steelers, so we hit the even tiebreaker. The Bengals are climbing back up, everybody. It took a little bit, but we might be back in business. Thank God we didn't have a chance to watch the Nighthawks against a good team. Hey, we could not have expected the Nighthawks to go 3-0 today. I don't think anybody saw this coming. Panthers beat the Steamers. Rough day for the Steamers. They are 0-3, basically out of the division race with how well the Bengals are playing. And the Steelers and Ravens obviously being pretty good. Cocky Buttcannon played well, though. Definitely not his fault that they lost. Last week it was the offense, specifically the run game. This week it looks like it was the defense. Although they had pressure. They had 4 sacks, 2 for Clowney, 2 for Madubuike. They made fun of the Thanksgiving matchup at the beginning, but now you guys are both laughing. Deservedly so. New England beats the Chargers. The Chargers kind of had to win this game because New England's not very good. Now, the Chargers are still going to have plenty of chances because their division is not good. But this would have been a nice game for them to win. If Kaki always loses despite playing time, you have to question if it's his fault. It's not his fault. You know why? Right here. It's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. He's him. Raiders beat the Rams 24-17. So the Raiders extend their lead up to 2 games now in the AFC West, while the Rams, who I think started off 2-0, have won like 1 game since. They're pretty bad. Yeah, 2-0. And the only team they've beaten is the Broncos. Thought that said Seahawks. The Seahawks won this week. They're 2-1 today. Or no, they lost. I'm stupid. They're 1-2 today. They lost to the Commies. Why did I think they won? Snowhawks had a bye week. Best Snowhawks week. Steamers lose. Steelers lose. Texans win. Titans lose to the Bills. They kept it good with a big comeback in the fourth quarter. Okay, so maybe they didn't really keep it good. They just came back. Justin Herbert was pretty good. Isaiah Thomas, 47% completion percentage. Nonetheless, the Bills are 10-0 now. They are very good. I see a 5 in there. Who had all the sacks? So it was Will Anderson's day today with 4. Yeah, how are you supposed to beat this team? I don't know. The Explorers beat the Vikings. That is significant. I think they're tied again. Travis Flight, 5 touchdowns. He's an MVP candidate. And he had an MVP type of performance against another MVP candidate in C.J. Stroud, who he significantly outplayed today. Houday, Bengals won, of course. Bills won. Broncos bye week. Chargers lost. Oh! Fascinating. The Colts, on the road, beat the Eagles. Octi, tell him. Tell him what? I'm confused. I'm also confused on how the Eagles lost this game to the winless Colts. So we will not have our first 0-17 team this season. Ouch. The Cougars beat the Desperados. My Lamar... Oh, yeah. Pokemon, he offered you all of your OFL 24 picks and all of your FGFL 24 picks for Lamar Jackson. So, if you want a good quarterback, I guess that's your offer. 1-win Colts and 1-win Oilers on primetime. That game literally is going to decide the number 1 pick. We saw that. We saw that. We saw that. We saw that. And that'll bring us back to the giggles. Houday. What if Daniel Godwin wins the Player of the Week again? I don't think he will, but he could. No, it's Drake May. That's unfortunate. He's joined by Mac Jones, AJ Terrell, and Will Anderson. Alrighty. So let's take a look at your standings going into the final week of the day. Steelers and Bengals tied for first place in the AFC North, with the Bengals having won 4 in a row. I guess the Steelers still have a tiebreaker. I think the next tiebreaker is division record, and that does favor the Steelers. They are 3-1. We are 3-2. Who have we not played? I know we split the Steelers. I don't remember which one of these two we've played twice already. I'd rather play the Steamers again because they don't look too hot. And the Ravens, don't forget, are only 1 back. In the South, the Texans are now in first place as they win and the Titans lose. It's been a good day for the Texans. The Bills are honestly pretty close to clinching the East. They can't really do it this week, but they could do it within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Raiders are 2 games ahead in the West. Vikings are actually still in first place in the North, even though they lose to the Explorers. Dreadnoughts are ahead by 3 in the South. They're back in the driver's seat. Dallas ahead by 3 in the East, with the Cougars in second place. The Commies are in third, and the Eagles are hilarious. The Nighthawks lead the West. The Niners and Seahawks are still both good, but the Nighthawks are, right now, a little bit better. And that'll bring us into Week 12. This is a game that we saw on the schedule right away. We laughed at it. But once we knew both teams were good, we figured this would be a watch game. And boy, does it look like an important game between the Niners and the Jets. Both teams are 6-4. As it stands now, the Jets would be the 6th seed in the AFC. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ravens currently out. In the NFC, Dallas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the Niners are the first team out in the NFC. They're tied with the Commies for the 7th spot. So in other words, both of these teams are probably not going to win their division because there are great teams in their division ahead of them. But they're both well alive in the wild card race. Random number generator lands on 1. That is the Niners. I think this game is especially important for San Francisco, maybe a little bit more so than the Jets, because the NFC is better than the AFC. This is still a super important game for the Jets, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they have a little bit less to lose than the Niners because there's more teams that San Francisco has to worry about. And there are some good teams in the NFC like Seattle who aren't even in the playoff picture. The Eagles as well. Maybe the Eagles aren't good, though. They just lost to the Colts. What do? You get to pick your uniforms. Whatever you want. As long as it's not the same color as the Jets. So basically, as long as you both don't wear white, then you can pick whatever you want. I wanted to watch this game for a different reason than I do now. Who would have thought, on Thanksgiving, these two teams battling for playoff spots, all black, good choice. That's the wrong controller. With a good well, they kind of had the same helmet. But yes, for those of you who were here in OFL 20, which is probably just me and Nick of everybody here, the Niners All Blacks are an OFL staple. Because I beat Nick's team a lot in these jerseys. These bring back good memories. See, OFL 20 flashbacks. 80s uniforms. Oh, this actually kind of goes hard. Yeah, I dig this. 28-0, little bro. What about all the times I beat you in OFL 20? Remember when you guys, went forward on 4th and 20-something in a playoff game? They have a modern version. Is this what Little John wants? I think these are cool. Why does everybody not like these? They probably do the modern version. Hold on. Let's see if we can find it. It's not the alternate, I don't think. It's probably this. It's definitely not this. Yuck. But I think this looks cool. See? Little John wants this. I like it. I think it's cool. Yeah, that green's not going to look weird against the black. That green isn't, dark enough. The new one, the ones that they wore when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, those are in Madden 24, I think. Yeah. All right, the final game of the day. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Who would have thought the New York Jets and the San Francisco 49ers both are competing for playoff spots? Not only that, but both of these teams look legitimately good. I don't know if there's 5 or 6 teams that are playing better than San Francisco right now. They've won 6 of their last 8 games. They're currently out of the playoffs, though, in the NFC because the NFC is so loaded. If they win, though, they'll surely be back in with one of those wild card spots. And for the Jets, I think they have played quite well, too. They're probably not going to win their division because the Bills are the best team in the league. But in a less deep AFC, they are in clear control of getting one of those playoff spots. Be thankful this server can't pick watch games to save their lives. He does make a good point there. All right, you guys can watch the kickoff. I'm going to fill up my drink real quick. Don't gossip about me, and don't blow the place up. All right, we're black. I almost said we're black. That'd be kind of weird. We're back. I'm currently reporting some messages here real quick. There we go. Why is Pope wearing 19? That's a good question. Has he always worn 19? I definitely have not touched his jersey number without your request. So why would he be wearing 19? 19 does not look right on a quarterback. 19's a wide receiver number. 19's a Deebo Samuel number, not a Justin Pope number. Octi, well-known black man. Yep, that's me. Yeah, these black jerseys bring back great memories. Lamar Jackson dumps it off to Kareem Hunt, who jukes out Bobby Wagner, and he takes it 78 yards to the house as the Niners are beating the Cardinals 42-7. Fumble, and it's picked up by the Jets. Jawan Bentley, well-known pass rusher, Jawan Bentley. Was that ball out? I almost feel like it kind of was, based on when it happened in the play in real time. Yeah, I think that's a fumble. That ball's out. Antonio Gibson coughs it up. I think that's a fumble, all right. And now we get to see Desmond Ridder lead out the Jets. He's had a pretty good season as the quarterback. It appears they've made an upgrade from Drake May, although Drake May's had some very good performances this year. He's also had some not-so-good performances. We forced 4 fumbles in watch games. Imagine Little Jaw's defense against the Minnesota Vikings in real life. Antonio Gibson, I'm going to slit your wrists in Minecraft. Okay. Alrighty. Bentley challenging Bobby Wagner. Don't show that to Nick. I dig the Pope jersey. It's original. It's original, but I feel like 19's just not a quarterback number. Desmond Ridder sacked the big man, Ed Oliver. Brings him down. That might knock him out of field goal range, depending on what happens here on 3rd and 19. Ridder wants it all, and it's incomplete. Ed Oliver, have my sperm. Okay. When Joe Burrow plays a real defense. Hasn't Joe Burrow had some good games this year? Dallas is 9-1. I don't know if that's the thing to say. Ridder is a sim merchant. Ridder's thrown 1 pass. Let's not get ahead of ourselves yet. Although he is very good in sim in this game. I imagine he'll be better in sim than watched. But we haven't really watched him a whole lot. So let's not jump to conclusions yet. As we have a what-a-punt, I forgot. What-a-punt! Goes down at the 9. Big hit on Gibson. Nowhere to go. So glad you chose to watch the Texans and the Steelers so Frank can be like this for a week. Yeah. Is it possible that sometimes the right choice on paper just doesn't pan out? I think that was the right choice on paper. It just didn't pan out. It happens. The OC knows he's a bum and watch. Well, it's a good thing they have Breece Hall, CeeDee Lamb, and potential Offensive Player of the Year Cooper Kupp. Big hit out of bounds at the 45. Right choice. Did I stutter? We haven't watched the Steelers yet, and the Texans are good. We kind of know what to expect with the Nighthawks and watched, even though it hasn't happened yet. Now, maybe what we expect is a little bit different now that they're 9-2. I think it panned out. See, someone's happy. I think it panned out for us, too, because the Steelers losing is good. So, I take back what I said. We made a decision, and I think it was the correct one. Yes, Frank gets to be obnoxious for a week, but even if he was 8-3, he probably would have a right to talk as well, because 8-3 is still very good. Dalvin Cook is Offensive Player of the Year. Okay, there's a difference between being cocky and being stupid. He can be cocky all he wants, but I don't know about that. I'm forced to watch freaking Antonio Gibson cook. Don't you guys have another running back? You said you had 3 running backs. When you said that like getting 3 really good blowjobs is better than getting 1 really good one, in the case of Josh Jacobs, remember that conversation the other day? What a weird comparison. He could be 3-8 and he'd be talking. That's fair, but like, we would have an easy comeback. Since he's 9-2, I mean, there's nothing we can really come back at him with. Travis Etienne is hurt. Yeah, but don't you have another one? You said you had 3 really good ones. Etienne's one. Gibson's another. Holy smokes, what a catch. That's a touchdown for the Jets. Jets. It's Joe Earl with the score. What a grab. Who needs Cooper Kupp and CeeDee Lamb anyway? Ritter off his back foot, launches it up. That was pretty good coverage, too. Did he catch that with one hand? What conversation? Yes, the argument was that the Niners running back room is better than ours because 3 really good blowjobs is better than 1 really good blowjob. Which, the counter argument to that is 1 really good blowjob is better than 1 pretty good blowjob, and then 2 blowjobs who don't play. The age of plumbers is over. What? What does that even mean? The number 1 seed in the NFC has been here since day 1. Okay, maybe we should have watched this game. The stream is 100% getting taken down. 1 amazing. Exactly. See what I mean? The 1 is better than the 3 when 2 of them don't show up. As Justin Pope is sacked on first down. Big hit by number 30. Who's number 30? I can't see the name. It was a short name. Willie Gay. Yeah, Willie Gay's name is short, so I'll assume it's him. 2nd and 15. Pope with a dime for a first down into the hands of his tight end, Sam Laporta. What a guy. Shout out Sam Laporta. We all love Sam Laporta. He's him. Oh, that should have not only been intercepted, but that could have gone for a big return, maybe a pick 6. Niners dodged a bullet. 2nd and 10. Pope wants it all, and it's incomplete. That was a good throw. It was perfect accuracy. It was just good coverage. Not much he really could have did there. Where's the cord? Well, I have a cord in my microphone. I have a cord in my PlayStation. I'm kidding. I know what you mean. Hold on. Flag! Oh boy, I wasn't even looking. Of course, when I'm not looking, something cool happens, because that's always what happens. DJ Moore with the touchdown. He was wide open. So I'm wondering if this was like an offensive pass interference. Because there was nobody near him. Oh, illegal forward pass. So what would have happened? I'll look at the play again, but probably Justin Pope was scrambling, and then the corner saw he was past the line of scrimmage, so he went off of DJ Moore to try to stop the run. Here, let me look at the play again. I want to see what happened. I was expecting a punt return as I was looking. Okay, so Pope is under pressure. He scrambles a little bit. Okay, what I said did not happen. There was no corner that was coming back to the line of scrimmage. It was horrible coverage to begin with. The problem is Justin Pope waited too long and he took an extra step when he really didn't need to. So that wasn't even like some good play by the Jets. Pope wasn't even really under pressure. Dalvin Cook is like... hold on, the message isn't showing up in top messages. There it is. Dalvin Cook is like a stripper blowjob because in person it's mid, but when you hear about it, it's amazing. Okay. Dalvin Cook is not mid in real life, though. He's like... There's Cooked, and then there's 2023 Dalvin Cook. As Desmond Ridder is sacked by Bishop. I wouldn't read that aloud. Well, I did, so... This isn't monetized anyway. Although I don't even think saying that would like demonetize this. Good return. Is that Bobby Moss Jones? It probably is, because that guy looks really big. Like 7 foot tall big. All right, here's drive number 3 for the Niners. Drive number 2, they were about a foot away from tying the game, but Justin Pope has Kevin Durant-like feet, and he steps past the line as he makes the throw. Whole family hears that. I could have said worse. 2nd and 8. Here's Bam Bam Sam Laporta to the 38. He looks crazy. Bobby looks like a madman at 7 foot. I kind of want to see him throw it up to Bobby at some point because I want to see what happens. I don't know if I've ever seen a 7-foot receiver in game before. I'm dying to know what's next. First quarter in the books, 7-0 in favor of the Jets. It's been an interesting game so far. I think interesting would be the word to describe it. The stream has felt quick. I think that's because the first game we only watched the first half. But yeah, it definitely has felt quick. It started not much longer than an hour ago. Less than an hour and a half, and we're already in the final week. Let's do an extra week. I don't know about that, partner. I don't really know what I want to do, though, for the rest of the season because we have 6 weeks left, and I still really want Week 18 to be on its own. So I'm not sure if the next stream would be 5 weeks or if we split it up more. Oh, what a play! That's not Bobby. That's somebody else. That's A.J. Brown. Arthur, 1, Brown. Mosses the corner, and we are tied at 7. Justin Pope is going to throw it up there. He says, my receiver is going to make me a play. And that's exactly what A.J. Brown does. Yeah, it looks like that was zoned. The safety goes back. And A.J. Brown head taps him. Posters him. What a play. That man is getting sent to China. Ni hao. So both touchdowns today have been like incredible plays, incredible catches. First by JoJo Earl, and then A.J. Brown. Part of the reason why these two teams have become so good is certainly the receivers they've added in the offseason. The Niners with A.J. Brown and DJ Moore, and then the Jets with Cooper Kupp and CeeDee Lamb. John Johnson better learn Chinese. Instead of watching like the film of what happened on the little iPad on the sideline, he's searching Mandarin Chinese classes. Jets starting at the 15, not very good field position. The Jets offense, other than that one play, they really have not done anything. I feel like we've seen more out of the Niners offense so far. So this is a big drive for the Jets. I want to see what they can do here. Desmond Ritter's gotten sacked, I think, twice already. Can I have a shout out? No. There's only one man who can save the Oilers. It's LaBoomstick Body Bag the Fourth. Connor McGovern is hurt. I don't know which Connor McGovern they have, but whichever one they have is hurt. Bro, why? That's a good question. Probably because I don't know who you are. Here's Breece Hall. Gets a block. I will sub. I don't need subscribers on this channel. Oh, wow, we're at 300. I guess this channel hit 300 today. Good for me. Here's Cooper Kupp. Gets about 9. Why are you choosing to beg for your shout out in here, though? That's the weird part. Not even like on the main channel. In here. Donate money. I don't think I can set it up for this channel because it's not monetized. I have it set up on my main channel, but not this one. I said the Jets needed to start moving, and they're having a pretty good little drive so far, slowly but surely. A lot of short passes. And it's working. OFL is the place. Yeah, but in terms of subscriber count, it's not exactly the place where you're going to get shouted out and get recognition. 3rd and 9. Nothing. I like the short passes early, but the Jets just keep doing them to a fault. I can't wait for y'all to see how much better Madden 24 is. Well, that's why we're moving through seasons quickly here, 4 weeks per. I'm excited to see what Madden 24 watch games have in store. Every stream, Noah Reigns has shown up. The Cowboys have lost at least one game. I feel like he should come around more often. Maybe we should give him the shout out. Every time that he's shown up, the Bengals have gone undefeated. Shout out my guy Noah. I'm going to give him the shout out. It clearly works. See? Frank has the right idea. His team seems to do pretty well when Noah's here. FG said he will stay on 24 until a game is actually better. That's not a bad idea. I don't blame him. Oh my God, did he catch that in bounds? He didn't. That would have been ridiculous if that worked. Me and Todd's bowl was insane. I mean, put it this way. If Madden 24 is like that good, I'm open to staying on. Oh, he's throwing it up for Bobby! Oh, he didn't come down with it. Why did he try to one-hand it? You're 7 foot. Use your size. You're going to get the first crack at catching the ball. That was a funny animation, though. Bobby went like flying at 7 foot. Oh, what a throw! It's DJ Moore down the field. 72 yards, and the Niners take the lead. Justin Pope took 3 shots there. I love the aggressiveness. We thought Danny was crazy for passing on Daniel Godley. And Justin Pope has been better, first off. And second of all, he got all this stuff out of it. Not to say I regret it, because I don't, but I think that's a win-win trade. I'm going to stay the whole time. You're the man, Noah. Y'all said Jacoby was a bad move. Well, here, put it this way. So far, it has worked out really well. You guys are really good. It has been a great move. But let's see what happens in the playoffs. But so far, yes, that has been a phenomenal move. Ooh, risky play. The reason why the Niners have been more successful than the Jets so far today is because they've had 2 very different offensive philosophies. Neither of them have ran the ball well. They've had to focus on the pass. The Jets are throwing everything inside the first down marker, while Justin Pope is just saying, screw it, I'm going to yeet this thing down the field and hope I get lucky. Bro thinks I care if I lose in the playoffs. I would think he would care, because I think most teams are trying to win a championship rather than winning 12 games in the regular season. But I think winning those amount of games in the regular season is still an accomplishment, even if you get first rounded. So if that's what you wanted to go for, then power to you. Desmond Ridder heard my criticism. He goes downfield and it's double coverage incomplete. I'm just happy to make it. I respect the direction. You have a clear path of what you guys want to do, and you're probably going to do it. I respect it. Jets are just going to run the ball on 3rd and 18, and they get nothing. If not for that turnover, this game could be ugly. That fumble right at the beginning really set the Jets up, and they haven't really taken advantage. The only thing that matters is the playoffs. That's true for most of us, but if Frank cares about winning... Oh my God, what a punt. If Frank cares about winning in the regular season over than the playoffs, then power to him. If I get 11 wins, I'm basically in the playoffs. Put it this way. If you win 11 games, it'd be very hard to not make it. So yeah, you'll be fine at 11 wins. Good run by Jaeger Smirnov, getting the Niners out of safety territory. We've had, I think, 2 what-a punts today, both of which are from the Jets. Shout out the Jets punter. If this game becomes a blowout, can we continue watching? If it stays within 3 scores, then yes. But if not, there's no reason for everybody else to want to watch it. I understand how this is fun for you, though. If I was in your shoes, I would be enjoying this as well. So keep having a blast, because this Niners team is fun. I want to watch this team again. Justin Pope is fun. Bobby runs so weird. It's like he's like clunky. Which, I mean, I guess that's part of being 7 foot. But in a video game, I expect you to run like you're some 6'1" smooth route runner. I enjoyed OFL World 22, and that was a blowout. I did not enjoy that game, though. I know everybody else did, but I didn't. If it's a simcast, we do another week. No, I don't think we will. What playbook did Hector run and watched? I would go into schemes and search up all of Hector's messages in there. That's probably a good way to find it. What's the main channel called? It's called Octagonal Gaming. The octagonal is spelled the exact same way it is here. And then gaming. Hopefully you know how to spell gaming. You'll find out that that channel is a lot more than 300 subscribers. Like, a lot more. First half in the books. The Niners look legit. They lead 14-7. I would have liked to see more aggressiveness at the end of that last drive, but they look really good. Now, the Jets do start with the ball in the second half, so this game's not over, even though the Niners have outplayed them significantly over the last quarter and a half. Main channel is fire. True dat. That channel is pretty goated. Agreed. Yes, gaming, as you spelled it right there. Gaming. Octi is one of the best franchise YouTubers. Aw, I appreciate it. I'm sure if you type in Octagon Gaming, it would probably show up. You're right, yes. Gaming. Yeah. When is the Mr. Hurricane collab? That's a great question. I think Kane has to know who I am for that to happen. But if he's listening, which I don't know why he would be, but if he is, I'm open for business. Join the Discord. That's a good idea. If you click the About section, yeah, you'll find the link to the main server and the OFL server. There you go. When are we getting the 24-hour stream? I thought it was supposed to be 12 hours, not 24. But I have not been able to get the computer working for that, although I haven't tried in a while, to be fair. But I still would love to do that at some point. Kane secretly watches OFL. That'd be funny. I love watching Bobby run. It's certainly an experience. When Super Bowl stream, Aiden Ross style. What do you mean? Like you're just watching my face the whole time and I say like cringy, probably offensive things? Defense, what are we doing? That's a good question. Who's in the zone? Is that AJ or is that DJ? I think that's DJ Moore. What if Noah Reigns is actually Mr. Hurricane? Oh my goodness. You might be onto something. Why would Mr. Hurricane need a shout out from little old me? That'd be funny if he asked that, though. As if like 80% of my viewer base doesn't know who he is. Broken up. Good defense. You just stream the game illegally and then yap. Oh, okay. That sounds like a plan. Octi bridge incident. What? Bridge incident? When have I had an incident with a bridge? Oh, what a punt! That's our third what a punt of the day. These punters are good. That's not even the 6. That's like the 5.5 yard line. I guess these two teams have punted it a lot over the years, so you'd think that their punters have gotten to be pretty good. I've never watched Mr. Hurt. Wow, that's something. I recommend it. He's quite good at what he does. Third and 1. Breece Hall does not get it. And Elijah Vera Tucker's hurt. I haven't. Wow. I'm surprised by that. Top 3 is Kane, Octi, and Bengal. Well, being in the same conversation as Kane and Bengal is pretty good company. I did not know Bobby was their punt returner. That's funny. Like, for example, unlike Octi, he's actually good at the game he plays. Don't people make fun of Kane for, like, throwing a bunch of picks? I don't throw that many interceptions. I'm probably worse at other things. Here's a nice little play. That's A.J. Brown. I don't throw that many picks. Puma has, in 12 games, I think he has right around 12. That's an interception per game, which is kind of a lot, but it's not like that much. Bengal gets made fun of for missing wide open touchdowns. I don't know how much he does. I know I sometimes get made fun of that as well. I couldn't care less about how good people are at the game. I agree. No bias at all. But I personally think if I'm a viewer and if I'm looking for the type of content that at least I make, I care more about the story than the gameplay. Other people care more about the gameplay. That's their preference. I understand it. But I think the story itself matters a little bit more. And I would like to say I'm pretty good at that. Even though I'm not very good at the game. Or any of the 3 games, really, to be quite frank. Octi wants to finish the story. What does that mean? I dog Octi in 2K every year. See? This is true. I'm not that good at 2K. There's a reason why I don't play on the absolute highest difficulty. Although, to be fair, for 2K and MLB The Show, my difficulty has gone up compared to the last, year or two. So there's that. Can we tackle? I don't know, can you? The Niners have it at the 4. Look at them. Can the fullback punch it in? He doesn't. I don't know about you guys, but I just want to see Justin Pope, play action, roll out, and just launch a fade in the corner of the end zone for Bobby Moss-Jones. That'd be fun. That works too. Yeager Smirnov with the touchdown. Now you would think Octi would be good at this because it's technically his job. I've only been playing on Madden All-Pro for 7 years, guys, and I have not made it up to All Madden. Because if I did, it would be ugly. But sometimes it's just about the motion of the ocean. You're on all... Yes, I don't play on All Madden. I showed my sliders, I think, on the last episode of the regular season for year 1, if you want to find it. I know I wouldn't survive All Madden. That's why I don't do it. If I was winning every game by 50, then I'd probably try to switch up. But I don't, obviously. Thoughts on Perk Angle? I don't know who that is. I don't like Angles, though, because Angles is like math. That gives me, bad flashbacks to geometry. So, probably not very good. And then Perk? What do perks have to do with Angles? Here's Brees. Powers off a defender. 11 carries for 17 yards. Wow, quite the day. All Madden is actually bad. Your offensive line feels like the Giants against... Of all the teams you could use, you used the Seahawks. Okay. Which difficulty did you play on NCAA? I know at the Westlake series, I think I started on varsity, which I think is the second of 4, but by the end, I think I did either Heisman offense and All-American defense, or the inverse. One of those 2 was Heisman, and the other one was All-American. So to be fair, for NCAA, I kind of made it up to the highest difficulty. It's not like I've been playing that game for 10 years or anything. No, totally not. The Monday. Oh, I thought you meant in general. Oh, never mind. The Giants' offensive line looks like that every week, though. When NCAA 24 comes out, am I doing a series? I'm tentatively saying yes, because if it comes out, I'm 100% doing a series, but I don't know if it's coming out. I don't trust EA to deliver. But if it does, I'm 100% doing something with it. I cannot wait to finally get a new college football game. I play on Heisman both sides. Congrats. If I had still been like consistently playing NCAA 14, I don't know if I would be able to do Heisman on both. Now I just play on rookie because all I do is get highlights. Justin Pope, first play of the fourth quarter, connects with A.J. Brown at the 13. Middle Tennessee State franchise is going to hit different. That would be awfully fitting. I won't lie, I am starting to like pay attention a little bit to like try to figure out if I were to do a regular NCAA 24 Dynasty, if the game were going to come out, who I would want to pick. If I were to even do a regular team, which I have no idea what the game is going to look like. I don't know if there's going to be lower levels, not just FPS or what. So maybe it's probably too early to start thinking about that. As Jaeger Smirnov makes it a simcast. Look in voice and speaking. Damn, 95 speed. Jesus Christ. How is that guy an 81? Puma Whitlock's an 81, and his numbers are not that good. Maybe his accuracies are a little higher, but not like drastically. They're adding teams from Division 1 to Division 3. Division 3, you say? Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Niners get a stop. They're up 31-7. They had a field goal, and that'll do it. So a big win here for the Niners. They dominate 34-13. And they're going to be back in the NFC playoff picture unless everybody wins, which I guess the NFC is really good. We're going to get the Susquehanna Dynasty. It's happening. I'm moving us up from D3 to D1. Boy, that'll go well. Justin Pope played really well. Desmond Ridder had the same completions and attempts, but 100 less yards. He was significantly less aggressive. Justin Pope had some great throws down the field. I was very impressed with him. DJ Moore and A.J. Brown both played very well. Where is CeeDee Lamb? Did he do anything today? Nope. 2 sacks for Ed Oliver. And with that, it is sim time. It's nice simming and not having to worry. I enjoy bye weeks. We should do this more often. We should get more bye weeks. How will create a school work? I don't know because we've learned nothing about the game. I would love to have like an easy team builder where you can literally like create it in the game, kind of like you can do with 2K. But I feel like with EA that's too much to ask for. The Geagles go 2-2 today. They beat the Explorers. Thank you, Mexico. That helps my draft pick. Travis Flight comes back down to earth, but he was still quite good. Dak Prescott also was good. Zeke over 100 yards. Big game for Greg Dortch. 2.5 sacks for Mike Hall. Bengal legend. Hooday. Greg Dortch, also a Bengal legend and a Dragon legend. Hooday. The Lions news to New England. Both of these teams are not very good. I totally did not pick the Lions to win their division or anything. No. Monarchs beat the Desperados in overtime. Neither of these teams are particularly good. Neither of them are going to grab a playoff spot. Remember when the Monarchs made the NFC Championship in year 1? That feels like forever ago. The games left and they fell apart. If we do team stats, do mine. I gotcha. The Colts beat the Oilers. I'm not surprised by this. The Oilers are legitimately the worst team in the league. I cannot wait for the Bills to get a king's ransom for the number 1 pick. I just can't wait. The Colts go 2 in a row today to finish things off. Good for them. After the Seahawks, we have not lost a game. Yeah, 7 in a row. Imagine if the games had Matt Corral. Hitler and Stalin team up. Wait, which one is Corral? I shouldn't be calling him that. The Colts... Oh, I can't read. Forget what I said. I can't read. The Oilers win. Okay. Silly me. I was so convinced, too. The Bills are 11-0. Bold of you to assume the game has friends. What, you're saying I'm not his friend? That's my guy. 2.5 sacks for Jalen Carter. Carolina loses to the Steelers. That sucks. So the Steelers are back in first place. I don't think they've had their bye week yet. Because we both played 11 games. So they still have not had a bye week. At least we're probably going to be one of the 3 wild cards. Yeah, we're going to be 5. So we'll play the Raiders as of now. So in other words, we're going to the second round. The Raiders beat the Chargers, so the Raiders lead their division now by 3 games. So probably the Raiders are going to be the 4 seed. When is the last time the AFC West has had a double-digit win team? Has it ever happened? I don't know. Rams. Yikes. Seattle needed a win, and boy, they got one. 34-3. Mahomes played well. Mahomes has had a good stream today, even though his team has been mid. Caleb Sampson was not so great. Seattle's probably still going to be on the outside looking in. But who does Seattle... Hold on. Who do they play? Their final 6 weeks. Bills. Oh, God. Snowhawks. Okay, so they're going to split these 2. Niners, Cowboys, Raiders, Broncos. This is an interesting group because you have the 2 best teams in the league, but you also have 2 of the worst. You have 3 AFC West games, but the other 3 are really tough. Now, if you're a good team, you've got to win a couple of these tough games against the Bills, Niners, and Cowboys. Ideally, you've got to go at least 4-2. Who were we on? We were on the Rams. Ravens. Beat the Steamers. Rough day in the office for Memphis. 0-4 today. Even though Cocky hasn't even played badly. He had another good game. Trenton Simpson with 3 sacks. I know the Rams suck, but we could not afford to take another loss. Certainly not. You'll take any kind of win you can get in this league. Snowhawks beat the Broncos. Yeah, Denver stinks. That whole division just stinks. Can we have nobody win that division? Please? Steamers lost. They've lost a lot in a row. 6 to be exact. So the Steelers won. The Texans lose. Wow, what a stream for the Cougars, who are definitely going to have one of those 3 wild card spots. Good for them. They're cooking. The server will make our game a simcast. The Titans. Oh, wow. Rough day for the Titans. 0-3. So the Texans are going to hold on to their division lead as Dallas finishes the day 3-1. 4 scores for Herbo. For Burrow. Not for Herbo. Mike Evans 8 for 105. So Dallas now has 10 wins. They're the second team to get there. The Dreadnoughts beat the Vikings, so it looks like the Dreadnoughts might still be the second team in the NFC. This is a big win for them against a strong Minnesota squad. 5 touchdowns for Jalen Hurts. That certainly won't hurt his MVP candidacy. 11-1. Okay. Regardless, you have 1 loss, so point remains. What do I think about the Lions? I think the Lions are winning the Super Bowl. Bengals had a bye week. Hooday. Bills won. Broncos lost. Chargers lost. Colts lost. The Commies beat the Eagles 49-42. Defense, never heard of her. Rough day for the Eagles. Wow. Between the two quarterbacks, 750 yards, basically, and 5 touchdowns. Not 5. I can't count. 9 touchdowns, excuse me, and 0 interceptions. The difference is that Najee Harris was really good and Christian McCaffrey was not. Whoa! 15 for 266 for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Whoa! Who covered him? Probably whoever led Washington in tackles. I guess one of these 3. Imagine if it was Denzel Ward. Sun God clears your favorite player, kids. Did the Cougars go 4-0 today? Damn! They went 4-0. 2 really bad teams, but 2 good ones. And they won all their games by at least 15 points. Actually, I can't read it. They won by... Wait, why'd they blow out the good teams and barely beat the bad teams? Okay. Jalen Johnson if he was on the Commanders. I think that's probably everyone, yeah. Alrighty. We saw that one. Yep, and that brings us back to the Niners. Players of the week. Stephon Diggs, Bryce Young, Kittrell Clark, and Dre Greenlaw. They play to their competition. I guess so. Commies, Eagles, and Seahawks are our next 3. That's tough. Here's a look at the standings. Still only 1 undefeated team and no winless teams. AFC North, the Steelers are a half a game ahead of the Bengals and a full game ahead of the Ravens. Very competitive race here. In the South, the Texans and Titans both lose. I would argue Amon-Ra should be the player of the week too, but Bryce Young was also really good, so I can't blame them. Although both of those guys lost. The Bills can clinch the division with a win and a Jets loss next week. The Raiders are comfortably leading the West because everybody here stinks. Minnesota half a game ahead of the Explorers in the North. They both lost. The Dreadnoughts are 3 ahead of the Eagles still. Dallas still comfortably leads a weird NFC East. And then the Nighthawks are a game and a half ahead of the Niners in the West. 2.5 ahead of Seattle. Let's take a look at our playoff picture. This is the first time that we can take a look at this here in Week 13. Kablamo! Alrighty, so obviously the Bills and the Cowboys are the 2 number 1 seeds. Steelers, Texans, Raiders, Bengals, Ravens, Titans. As for the teams who are just on the outside, it would be the Jets, and that's really about it. Maybe the Orbits. I don't think anybody else has much of a shot in the AFC. Pope breakout, we'll get to that in a second. NFC, a lot deeper. The Nighthawks, Dreadnoughts, and Vikings lead their divisions. The Cougars, Explorers, and Commanders are the wild cards. And then you've got, in no order, San Francisco, Seattle, the Eagles, the Geagles, all in the mix. That's 11 teams gunning for those playoff spots. That's the wrong button. I wanted to click the breakout challenge. Wait, how would he... Oh, he gets a lot of XP. Because he already has Superstar X Factor. But he gets like a big XP boost. I think like probably 20,000. In that ballpark. Alright, let's take a look at our stats and awards update. If anybody wants to see their team stats, put your team in the chat. Best passer rating among starters. Oh no, Corral's in second. McGee is still ahead of him. Travis Flight leads all starters, followed by Dak, Hurts, Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, Steven Universe, Justin Pope, and Desmond Ridder. CJ Stroud has fallen. Daniel Godley, though, is climbing. 96. Who is in last? Oh, it's still Tua. Other than Tua, it's Trevor Lawrence, who stinks. Jonathan Taylor leads the league in rushing. How does Josh Jacobs have under 1,000? I guess we're just not giving him the ball enough. Oh well, he already won the rushing record last year. It's fine. Receiving, we'll start with catches. That's Kyle Pitts. Quentin Johnston leads in yards. It doesn't matter where Quentin Johnston is. He's just going to continue to produce, unlike real life. Touchdowns, Cortland Sutton, Keenan Allen, and Terry McLaurin with 11. 3 guys with 10. Sacks. Everybody's allowed at least 1. Most is Tommy Agnew, a rookie with 17. Defense. Tremaine Edmonds leads the league in tackles. TFLs in the AFC is Chris Jones. Sacks is Will Anderson and Micah Parsons. What do these two have in common? Interceptions is David Long and Akeem Davis-Gaither with 4. What do those two have in common? NFC, Jeffrey Simmons leads in TFLs. Sacks is Danielle Hunter. A lot more guys in the double figures. Jaquan Brisker with 5 interceptions, 4 for Luvu, Greenlaw, Lattimore, and JOK. How many perfect kickers do we have? 1, 2, 3. Just 3. Jack Plesney, Jason Sanders, and Alex Kendrick. Who is the longest catch? That's a great question. I'll tell you what, whoever it is does not have as many yards on their longest catch as Greg Dortch did in Season 1 of the Dragon Series. I don't think I've ever seen an 100 on the longest play screen until then. Yeah, 98 with Sky Moore, and then next is 83. You're telling me there's one 90-yard pass? Unless Sky Moore has more than one, which I'm going to assume he does not. That'd be funny if he did. No, his next longest is... Oh, that's by season. There's a 70 in there. Yeah, no, he only has one. What about the longest rush? 82 for Javonte Williams, Sean Tucker in second. How has there been one 90-yard play? I find that really hard to believe. Jalen Hurts, MVP. Coach of the Year is Nick. I wish Sky Moore did that in real life. How are we ahead of the Bills? I don't get that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Jonathan Taylor, Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Parsons. Daniel Godley, Offensive Rookie of the Year. He wouldn't go up in depth if he wins it, for reasons. But he'd probably get a lot of XP. Which he probably doesn't even need that. He's going to be a 99 by the end of the year, I would think. Daniel Godley's in 10th place for best quarterback. He's climbing up there, guys. We're making progress. Rome was not built in a day. As for the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year is Saquon Barkley. Danielle Hunter is the depoy. Daniel Williams, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Quandre Elam is the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Kyle Pitts, Tevin Jenkins, Danielle Hunter, TJ Watt, Jaquan Brisker, and Jason Sanders. All right, let's do team stats. MP specifically requested his, so we'll start there. Next up I see is the 7-4 San Francisco 49ers. They only have 4 interceptions. If anything, that's a good sign. They don't need turnovers to win. So I would almost argue that's a sign of more success. Although turnovers are nice. What a year for Ed Oliver. Well, Nighthawks are next. Wow, 14 touchdowns. He is having a good year. Their offensive line's been ridiculously good. Even with the pass rush being pretty quiet. Texans are next. Lamar having another MVP year. There's Mr. Tucker. Should eclipse the 1,000 yards mark soon, along with Zach Lawler and Christian Watson. 3 guys with 9 sacks. A quiz only has 2.5. Jets. Desmond Ridder having a nice year, although I was a little underwhelmed in the watched game. He wasn't bad, but I wanted more. Pause. Bills. They had 3 interceptions, and they're still 11-0. Gee whiz. Is this team, like, ever going to lose? The answer might be no. The Steamers. Shout out Cocky. I didn't realize Bijan was playing that well, yet he was terrible against us. And they have the 2 interception leaders in the AFC with Akeem Davis-Gaither and David Long. Who has 8.5 sacks? Clowney does. Wow. And then we'll look at the Bengals as well. Here's Mr. Godley, steadily improving. The one weird thing about this team that I don't like is that the pass rush has been so mid, and our offensive line has been a train wreck. Garrett has 8. Chase Young only has 5. That's not enough. I'll take my wins, but those pass rushers got to be doing better. Why does my fullback have 200 yards? That's a great question. Why would he have 200 yards? Didn't we see him score in the watch game today? Or is that somebody else? All right, let's start from the top. Week 13. This is actually kind of interesting. Titans-Steelers is a good game. Niners-Cougars is a good game. Eagles-Raiders is fine. Ooh, we get to play the Oilers. Lunchtime. Explorers and Commies is a good game. Seattle and Buffalo sounds really fun. Texans-Eagles. There's some good games week 13. Week 14. Commies and Dreads. That's a good game. We get to start with the Oilers and the Colts. Oh, my God. If we don't go 2-0, there are problems. We play arguably the 2 worst teams in the entire league. Eagles and Nighthawks is not bad. Eagles-Cowboys is fun. Bills-Vikings isn't bad. Bills finally have some tough games. Hopefully they can lose a couple. And that's about it. I love how everyone has hard schedules here, and then we get the Oilers and the Colts. Who do we have week 15? Is it someone else who stinks? Wait, where are we? The Ravens. Okay, that is a little tougher. This is a good game. Explorers Orbits isn't bad. Eagles Nighthawks isn't bad. Jets Bills, maybe? Seahawks Niners, I would like to watch that. I don't think we've watched Seattle yet. Dallas and Commies is a good game, although we did watch these 2 teams play the first time. Titans Cougars is not bad. Week 16. Steelers Eagles is not bad. Commies Nighthawks, I'd like to watch Nighthawks at some point during the regular season. Explorers and Bills. Wow, Bills have some tough games. Cowboys and Seahawks. NFC Divisional Round rematch. Bengals Texans. AFC Wildcard rematch. And then in case... Cougars Eagles is kind of good too. And then in case we do 5 weeks, we'll look at week 17 as well. Eagles Vikings. Bills Jets again. Okay. Well, I guess the Jets are going to have their chance to win the division. Raiders and Seahawks, honestly, isn't the worst. Nighthawks Niners. I would definitely have this game high on my list. I want to watch the Niners again, and I definitely want to watch the Nighthawks before the playoffs. This is a good game. And then, since we're already here, we might as well look at Week 18. This game probably will be good for the Explorers. Dallas and Steamers. That's good news for Dallas. That's good news for Mexico. This could decide the AFC North. If we lose some games we shouldn't, even if we do win the division, this could decide a wild card spot. Dreadnoughts and Bengals. That's a very good game. Niners Raiders is interesting. Eagles Cougars. That could decide a wild card spot if the Eagles get their act together. Texans Commies isn't bad either. Okay, there we go. All we have to do now is check injuries, and then that'll do it. Who got hurt this week? Travis Etienne. We already knew that because he didn't play in Week 12. That's why CeeDee Lamb didn't do anything in Week 12, because he tore his bicep. Devin Bush, broken tibia after the year, as if things can't get any worse for the Oilers. Josie Jewell, broken collarbone. Derwin James, yay! At least he'll be back next week. That could be a lot worse. We're only playing the Oilers without him. We'll manage. Zach Cunningham's out for another week. There's Nate Stevens. Greg Rousseau, broken wrist. That's not insignificant. And that's everyone. So really, not that... There's like 10 injuries across the league. That feels so low. Make the AI Nighthawks killing the Cowboys. Should I? Team stats. Do we want team stats? We can look at team stats real quick. Offense. The Dreadnoughts are the number one offense in terms of yards. Why are we so low? Oilers are the worst. Shocker. Points is the Commies. I mean, I guess it's 7-4. That's not that crazy. The Niners are in second. Who's in last? The Oilers. No way. The Texans have the number one defense. Denver's in third. Wow. So their offense is just that bad, huh? The worst defense is the Vikings at 8-4. Points allowed. Bills have allowed the least. Makes sense. Broncos are third. How are you 3-8? And the most amount of points allowed is the Oilers by a lot. They've also scored the least. The Oilers are the worst team in the league. I don't care what the standings say. 58 sacks for the Bills. That's a whole lot. That's more than doubled like 25 teams. Least amount of sacks is 8. How do you have 8 to 58? The best team on third down is the Nighthawks. They're also 8 for 9 on fourth down. Wow. So the Nighthawks clearly know how to make plays late into series. Bengals are fourth to last. Fourth down. The Bills are first, followed by the Nighthawks, and then the Bengals. Nobody's a perfect 100%. Do we have any zeros? I would hope not. Nope. Worst is 33%. And then here's 2 points. Nobody's done it more than probably, 6 attempts for the Desperados. Red zone. The Patriots had the number one red zone offense. Yet they're 4-7. The Orbits had the best, or I guess the worst red zone defense, excuse me. While the best is the Dreadnoughts. Penalties. The Bengals had the least amount of penalty yards. Least amount of penalties is Houston. Most is the Steamers and the Niners. Turnovers. Cougars had the best turnover differential. While the worst is Carolina. And I also see a request for draft picks. Before we do that, I think there is a trade I have to make because I never made the trade with Kevin with the Niners and the Explorers picks. I think because I was rushing to start a stream, I don't think I ever got around to it. And I figured I could wait because it's draft picks. But if we're going to update them, I should probably do that now. That's the wrong button. What if this trade didn't work? That'd be a problem. Okay, yeah, so we're giving him the Niners pick. We're getting Columbus. We're getting 74 and 103. 74, 103, and 26. I think it might have been 74. It was the one in the middle. Okay, there we go. Finally made that trade after 2 weeks. All right. Keep in mind you can only trade draft picks this year. Picks in 2028 don't matter. Did I do the right set of picks? Actually, I don't think I did. No, I got the wrong 4. I got 106. I should have got 103. Okay, let's swap that real quick. Imagine having cap space. All right, now we're good. Again, as I just said, picks next year don't matter. You can only trade picks this year if you're looking to make any pick trades. Chargers at 3-1s. Desperados have 2 picks in the top 5. Lions have a whole lot. They don't have their own first, but they've got a lot of other goodies. The Oilers have 3 picks. Ouch. All right, there you go. So that will wrap up the stream. The next stream probably will be early next week. I don't have a date yet, but once I do, quarterback duel. How is this a duel? Trevor Lawrence is the worst QB in the league. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed. We'll be back probably early next week. And again, I'll let you know when the stream will be. So, yeah.